Hello everyone, today I am back with something slightly different than usual. I am going to be starting a how-to series that I'm going to be trying to do on a decent basis anytime the repair comes up. So today I'm going to be showing how to disassemble an I-Cybies to retrieve the broken clutch gears. So you're going to need a few tools. As you would expect, you're going to need two sizes of triangle head screwdrivers. As you can see, I only have one. However, this one happens to fit in both sizes of the screws that I'm going to be needing because I've already loosened the larger size. And then you're going to need a Phillips head to remove the screws out of the main shell, as well as the inner workings, so you can get to the gears, and as well as remove the legs. So, first I'm going to begin by removing the triangle screws. I will say you definitely want a container to sort your screws in. I went ahead and removed the main body screws. There are 7 of those. I went ahead and did that because they are all pretty easy to find. The reason that I'm showing this is because it can get slightly confusing removing these screws, because you're not removing these ones right here on this back. You're removing the ones, let me lift this leg up, or actually I'll just go like this, and you're actually going to be removing these two, and then these 3 right here. You do not remove these 3 or these 3. So I'm going to go ahead and remove this, and what this does is it takes this shell off, so that later, once we split the body apart, we're able to slide the shells down onto the legs so we can actually get the legs off. If that doesn't make sense to you, it will once I actually show the main shell being removed. I'm sorry if I'm slightly rushing through this. I'm trying to go at a slightly faster pace so that my phone does not get its battery drained, as that is what I'm using as a camera. So as explained before, the 3 on the outside and then the 2 on the inside, which I am now working on. Again, I am keeping my screws sorted, that way that whenever it comes time to put it back together, although the screws, of course, are different because the 2 larger size screws, one's Phillips and one's the triangle head, they are both black. I'm going to go ahead and slide these 2 shells off. Even though that they have different heads for the screws, they are pretty similar in size, and they, of course, are both black, which makes it annoying to differentiate between the 2. So, sorting is a must in this repair. Let me just scoot this back a little more into the shot. Turn this leg over, get these screws out here. Now, normally, I would be being a bit more gentle with these screws, but as I said, I've already loosened them. However, if people are following along with this repair, I have to say, be very careful, especially if your dog is a golden shell like this one is, as the golden shells are very fragile, and the screws do not have any metal threading on the inside where it screws into. It's all plastic. So that means that if you were to turn too hard, you could definitely break a shell. And this dog actually has some cosmetic damage from, I'm not entirely sure whether it be shipping or otherwise, because the owner told me that there was some damage. I know it wasn't from being shipped to me, because as I said, they knew about it already. So now that we have these 4 removed, what you want to do is you want to straighten the legs out so that they are posed in the same way on either side. So like this side, I will say go like that. And then spread the shell apart. Again, after you remove all of the shell screws. As I said, if I'm correct, there are 7 of them. And when doing that, you need to be careful, just as with anything else, because the shells are very fragile, and if any screws are left over, it could easily snap the shell, which is something that you do not want to do. So now, as you can see, why we remove these here over these shells right here, the reason is so that we could slide these down onto the legs. I'm going to do one side at a time, and get this piece out of here. Now I'm going to real quick explain why we did that. There are tiny Phillips screws on these legs that are right here, here, and then on the other side of it as well. Now, what we're going to be doing is removing these tiny silver screws that are in the leg so that we can actually pull the leg off. I will real quick move the camera, bring the camera closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. Those silver screws right here, and on the other side as well. Let me see if I can reposition this camera. What those screws do is, as I've said, they hold the legs in place. And by removing those, we're able to remove the legs, which in turn makes it to where we can actually remove the shells completely.